This is Hannibal back here from thehannibaltv.com with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. Second round of this because there was a technical issue on the first round. Just say it again. Thanks, guys, for everyone that had kind words for me due to the bad situation I had about three and a half weeks ago. Even I heard from DDP even. And all the fans really appreciate it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just wanted to be the one to address it because there's a lot of rumor and innuendo in wrestling. The next Great North Wrestling event is going to be November 4th in Renfrew, Ontario. It's not going to be September 2nd anymore because, among other reasons, I got to go through some recovery, some physical recovery. The first match from the July 15th Great North Wrestling event was posted today. It was so you guys can check that out. The link is in the description. Al, my day is going great. Let me jump into the news. Rey Mysterio Jr. was sadly injured for real last night on SmackDown. He was going to drop the U.S. title to Santos Escobar anyways, apparently. But he was going to drop it clean. However, he got injured during the match. So an audible was called, and Escobar was declared the winner. Vince McMahon, 77 years old, is recovering from spinal surgery. TMZ reported it was a 4-hour surgery, and it was a success. SummerSlam is at 45,971 tickets out with 40,000 paid. The Great American Bash, July 30th, Cedar Park, Texas, one of my favorite states. It's going to have Gable Stevenson wrestling Baron Corbin in his debut, the Olympic gold medalist. Apparently his promo for this match was not very good. For whatever reason, Stevenson is possibly the best heavyweight of all time. But he's not picking up pro wrestling as fast as people expected. But we'll see how the match is. Eric Young, who departed WWE without ever actually debuting for them, apparently was supposed to be part of a Bray Wyatt stable involving Uncle Howdy, who Dave Meltzer says is Bo Dallas here. There's an interview with him on this channel, as well as Alexa Bliss. Bray Wyatt has disappeared and Alexa Bliss got pregnant, so that angle was scrapped. Brian Pillman Jr., who was not renewed by AEW, has been training at the Performance Center, has been hinting that he's going to return. Apparently, there's talk that there might be a hiring freeze until the WWE UFC merger is complete, but Meltzer says that's probably not entirely true. It's going to be interesting to see. UFC is very cheap. They haven't upgraded the $50,000 bonuses for decades, even though the company makes so much money now. I don't think that they're going to be throwing out as much money as WWE was under the previous ownership, and I highly suspect they're going to put less money in developmental, because honestly, how many stars straight from developmental, straight from NXT have there been? Roman Reigns was from FCW. Lesnar was from OVW, Cena was from UPW, Batista was from OVW, as well as the Samoans. I mean, now there's like NWA and Impact they could scout from. There's AEW they can exchange talent with, and they spend a lot of money in development, and it's not usually. I don't know if it's ever been profitable, so I don't know if UFC will continue to spend so much on development. Time's going to tell. I suspect they're going to be cheaper because they've let a lot of bigger stars go in UFC. They seem to be more about the bottom line. But who knows? Vince is still going to be involved with WWE. He's still going to be running the company. So he'll have that competitiveness in it, at least for as long as he's still around. But let me get back into the news. Hulk Hogan, who turns 70 soon, got engaged to a 45-year-old yoga instructor, Sky Daly, last weekend. Dwayne Johnson, who apparently his uncle Ricky Johnson is quite fond of me, gave a 7-figure donation to the Screen Actors Guild, who are on strike right now. John Cena has a role in the big Barbie movie as Merman. You know, as much as I hate to say it, I would rather see the Barbie movie than SummerSlam. To see how Cena is in it, and Ryan Gosling, who's from about 45 minutes away from here in Cornwall, Ontario, plays Ken. Now, that's not to say I really want to see that movie, but I'd honestly rather see John Cena in the Barbie movie than SummerSlam. Because I know Roman Reigns is not going to lose his title. I've seen Cody Rhodes against Lesnar before. And that's just my taste. But wrestling is really popular right now. I'm not taking away that people love wrestling. In fact, SmackDown in Orlando, July 24th, drew 11,100 paid. Raw in Tampa drew 11,400 paid. AEW Collision in Newark, New Jersey had 6,497 in the building for a show that went over 5 hours, and apparently there was a lot of complaints about the length of the show. The taping of Dynamite in Albany, New York had 3,367, which was 11.5% down from their last show in Albany, which, by the way, I've been to Albany several times. Interviewed Hillbilly Jim there. Rush signed a new deal with AEW. Bryan Danielson, who had a severe arm injury in Toronto at Forbidden Door, has had a steel rod and 9 screws placed in his arm. His timetable for his recovery is unknown. I like Bryan Danielson as a person. Wish him well. There's nothing official on whether the Wembley Stadium show is going to be a regular TV show or a pay-per-view yet. But there's 76,929 tickets out with 70,400 paid. So that's going to more than beat SummerSlam, even though I don't think they've announced a single match yet. If they have, it hasn't really been a good one because it doesn't stand out to me. But I don't believe they're at, I don't think CM Punk's match has been set yet or anything. The July 21st Ring of Honor pay-per-view had 2,898 fans in Trenton, New Jersey, which they said was the largest Ring of Honor crowd ever in the state of New Jersey. Of course, there's a lot of AEW wrestlers part of Ring of Honor. It's owned by the same people. Apparently, the pay-per-view wasn't that heavily promoted, so it's unknown how well the actual pay-per-view is going to draw. Chris Hero is now a full-time producer for AEW. Scotty 2 Howdy is also working as a producer in AEW. The Von Erich Iron Claw movie is going to debut in theaters December 22nd. I will be interested to know if WWE or AEW is going to pick up Ross and Marshall Von Erich. I don't know. You would think with that Von Erich movie coming out, someone would pick them up. They've been free agents for a while now. I like them. I personally like them. Apparently they have heat with some people, but who doesn't in this business? But apparently Ted Hart, Ed Annis, 43 years old, was arrested July 14th. They found vials of testosterone, cypionate, and mastron, as well as MDMA, aka ecstasy, open bottles of marijuana in his car. He failed to stop at a red light and was speeding. UFC On ESPN, July 15th, did a 0.26 rating for the prelims. ESPN on ESPN Plus, 82 from the O2 Arena in London, July 22nd, was the lowest attended UFC event in England since the pandemic. It was not a sellout. It was the fourth show since the pandemic. They still drew over 15,000, had a gate of over 2,500. Pat Miletich, who I've interviewed on here before, UFC Hall of Famer, is going to come out of retirement at 55 to fight Mike Jackson, 38. The MMA reporter who famously beat the crap out of CM Punk in CM Punk's second fight. The MMA, Mike Jackson only ended up fighting 3 times. Betrayed by sin, everything's great. What was my injury? You can look it up, but it's probably the most serious injury I ever had. I was hospitalized for a few weeks, but I've been out now, and I'm improving on a daily basis. Jack Kilby, who is running that Great North Wrestling event in Renfrew, November 4th, more information at thehannibaltv.com, is interviewing Joey Legend, Just Joe, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. He did interview Hernandez from TNA a couple of days ago. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to watch it. I did meet Hernandez in SWE Fury. Someone says David Benoit has signed with AEW. Well, has he even wrestled a match yet? God bless him, but he doesn't look like he lifted a weight in his life. But I wish him the best. Malik Long, going deep. How am I mentally and emotionally? I'm improving, my man. What's my opinion of Vampiro working with NWA now? I didn't hear about it until now. Ring of Honor is still going. They're owned by Tony Khan now. They were pretty much at their lowest point when Tony Khan bought them. I am looking forward to the Wembley Stadium AEW show. I actually would like to watch that. I hope it's not a 5 or 7 hour show, though. I mean, what they have to watch, and I know they're not going to do this because they have a history of doing it, but whatever. He's the multimillionaire. But with like shows that are going to bring in a lot of casual fans, you should be careful on the times of them because a lot of people just don't have it in them to watch hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of wrestling in one sitting. What about really wants to see that? I don't know. He might be talking about the Von Erichs movie, which I do really want to see, as I am friends with some of the Von Erichs. They did a great job casting that movie, someone says. Grandma Daisy, there's more than 2 interviews with Teal Piper on this channel. I like her fiance, but like he always has to be in the interviews, and he's less than talkative a lot of the time. I like them both. I wish them both the best. I hope she signs somewhere. I hope he signs somewhere. But I'm just saying, I think we got all we can get out of them. I mean, I named my dog after Teal Piper, his father. So obviously I'm a big supporter of that family. Alex Brown says, awesome. Miles says, Jack runs a good show. He's up near the Canadian Rockies. Well, I don't know if Great North Wrestling is going to go outside of Ontario just yet. I know that there is going to be a very, 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 very big GNW show next April. Huge at an arena that WWE has run many, many times, including done TV tapings at. And I'm not going to reveal anything more than that, but Jack's got some exciting things cooking in the furnace, and I'm glad that they got that show. I'm really sorry I missed that show. I wish I was there. I've been editing the footage. I'm sad that I missed that show. But I'm glad that they pulled it off. Alex, GNW needs to come to Colorado. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. There's a lot of complications with running in the U.S. Joel, thank you for the $12 tip. I really appreciate it. Yes, Piper is upstairs right now. Joel is glad to see I have Piper in my life. Dogs are man's best friends. My interviews got them through some rough times in COVID. Love the channel. Yeah, I hear that a lot about COVID. And I'm glad I was there. I worked really, really hard during COVID, even traveling to Texas to get footage and cover events, because that was one of the few places where they were doing events at that time. So I'm glad that people appreciated it. So thanks for the $12 tip, Joel. I did watch the Bam Bigelow Dark Side of the Ring. I will do a review of it. I also watched the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon congressional hearings 3 times. I'm a UFO mark more than a wrestling mark these days, but I'm still a huge wrestling mark. Anyone in the wrestling business is, unless you're Brock Lesnar, has to be a big fan. But obviously, yes, I'm a huge wrestling, more of a UFO fan now, and I am going to do a chat on here about those hearings, which I thought were really cool and really good progress related to disclosure and us finding out more about what's going on with all these sightings. It's funny though, it was hardly covered at all in Canada. Anyways, guys, I'm checking out for now. Just Joey Legend, tomorrow at 4 p.m. on the Great North Wrestling Podcast. Be sure to check that out. Alex Brown wants to fight back about something. Charles hopes I'm feeling better. Grandma Daisy loved the Bam versus Virgil matches. I'll say this about the documentary. I actually didn't know a lot of stuff about his career. I was never really a Bam Bigelow fan. I liked his look and stuff, but I was impressed with his career when I watched the full documentary. And his daughter's cute. His daughter's very cute. Surprised that the Beast from the East could have such a cute daughter. Anyways, guys, have a great afternoon. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews.